With 2021 quickly approaching, it's so important that we're strategic and intentional about our goals. The problem is, a lot of times we set goals, we have big intentions, our heart is in the right place, but then quickly but surely we fall off of track with our goals. But I don't want that for you. So today I'm going to share a simple strategy so that you can take more aligned and intentional steps as it relates to your goals and your success as we move into the next year. The first step to success is getting clarity around what it is that you want to accomplish. So instead of saying, I want to lose more weight, identify what does that look like? How much weight? Instead of saying, I'd like to earn more money, identify what that looks like and how much money. The reality is you could be on a walk and find a penny tomorrow, and technically that's more money, but that's obviously not what you mean. So you want to get clarity around what that goal looks like. And when you're seeking to get clarity, one of the things that I like to weave in is clarity around what it is that you'd like to feel as it relates to your goal. The second step is to determine a word or a phrase that's going to give you motivation and cause you to want to take action. The reality is motivation's super high in the beginning of the year when everyone's like, new year, new me. We're all pumped up and we're excited. We're like, yes, I'm ready to take action. But then research says that by January 19th, it's titled National Quitters Day, which means that most people fall off their goals. Now, again, it's not because you don't have the best intention. It's just that motivation fades and we typically fall back into our old patterns and habits. So what I like to do is I like to hone in on a word or a phrase that's going to encourage me to continue to show up. So for example, my word this year is growth. And what that means to me is that I want to not only grow myself personally through my personal development journey, emotionally or mindset wise, all the things, but I also want to support my community just like you into growing more into who they're called to be. So pick a word and a phrase that means something to you that's also going to inspire you to continue to take action as we move throughout the year. And then the next step is to identify, I'd probably say no more than 3 push goals, okay? The reality is we will say, I want to lose weight, I want to save money, I want to eat healthy, I want to do all these things. And then we get overwhelmed, quickly overwhelmed because we're carrying a lot, we're expecting a lot. So what I like to say is really about 2 goals is perfect. But more importantly, you're going to want to pick 2 goals that push you out of your comfort zone, but also seem available for you. Don't pick a goal that says you want to be $1 million business if you've never even earned $1,000. Pick a goal that feels available for you, that feels within your reach, but also pushes you a little bit past your comfort zone. And understand that this is not a permanent setting. You're not married to this goal. If you find halfway through the year you can increase it, you can move the goal, you can move the target. That's okay. But you want to start with a goal that doesn't overwhelm you, but also at the same time pushes you out of your comfort zone and excites you. The next strategy or the next step in the system is to create a supplement list. And what I mean by a supplement list is what are small things that you can commit to that are going to support you with showing up for those goals more effectively. So for example, if you know that you really want to be a life-changing coach, maybe your supplement list may be that you're reading 1 nonfiction book per month. Maybe your supplement list, honestly, for any goal should be something around self-care, because the more you take care of yourself, the better you can show up for other people as well. So consider what things you'd like to place on your supplement list that's going to help you show up most effectively with your goals and most effectively in your life in general. The next step is super important. Let's be honest. A lot of times we set really huge goals, those expansive goals, those limitless goals, those exciting goals, but then we quickly get overwhelmed. And so there's an old saying that I love, and it says, how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. Same thing with your goal. Instead of trying to tackle the entire goal at one time, how can you break it down so that it feels more manageable? So if you're like, I want to earn 100K, maybe it's I want to earn 25K per quarter. If you're like, I really would love to create a course, but halfway through the year, maybe it's that you're taking a couple modules and you're making them over a certain period of time, a couple of weeks. If you're like, I really want to lose a certain amount of weight, how can you break that down again into those more manageable or bite-sized chunks? So think about that big picture goal, those 2 to 3 goals that you have, the big picture that you have, the big vision that you have for it, and then determine how you can break it down so that it doesn't overwhelm you. The next step, I know you guys are like, oh my goodness, this is a ton, but stick with me. I promise it'll all make sense and we'll bring it together full circle. So the next step is determine the actions that are in alignment with the goal that you want to take. The reality is we can't just take action for the sake of taking action. We have to take strategic action that aligns with the outcome that we desire. So consider, what do you need? What propellers? When I say propellers, what are the things that are going to propel you into your success? Is it that you need to get additional support? Is it you need accountability? Do you need to hire somebody? Do you need to have a specific service? Do you need a trainer? Do you need a certain kind of bank account? Whatever it is, identify what are the propellers, those things that are going to propel you into your success. Then identify what are those barriers. We all are going to have them. We're going to run into those obstacles. And I can't say that you'll be prepared for every one, but the more aware you are of each potential barrier, the more you can make a plan to avoid it so that it doesn't, get in the way of the success that you want, the outcome that you desire. So thinking of those two things. Now I want you to think of strategic action you can take as it relates to your goal. And again, much like I said, you're not married to any part of this. If you take certain action and you find that it's not working, don't change the target, change the strategies and the steps to get there. But in order to first start making and taking action, you gotta have some things in place. So for example, if you know that you really would like to make 100K in your business, what are the small things that you're going to sell or the big things that you're going to sell? What things are you going to offer? What products or services or programs will you offer that will get you there? Really break that down so that you have a blueprint to follow that gets you there. If you are accidental about your goals, in the steps that you take to get there, your results are going to reflect that. And trust me, that's not at all something that you want. That's again why we really want clarity about the goal that we want to accomplish, as well as the steps that it takes to get there, because without clarity, you're just replacing it with confusion, and confusion never breeds success. All right, thanks for sticking with me. We are down to the last two. The next step is to actually take action. We have to stop waiting until all our T's are crossed and all our I's are dotted to say, all right, now I'm ready to take action. You got to take action even before you're ready. One of my favorite quotes says, feel the fear and do it anyway. So yes, you're going to feel a little bit of fear. Yes, it's going to require a little bit of sacrifice, but here's the news. It's going to be worth it. So what action can you take even in this moment right now today that's going to put you in that direction of where you want to be? Don't watch my video and check it off a to-do list and say, yep, I watched Dr. Nicole's video. She had really good tips and now I'm done. Don't do that. Start determining what action you can take is immediately as quick as today to get to where you want to be, and commit to doing that. But remember, you got to take intentional and aligned action, not accidental action. Finally, the last step, which is actually my favorite, which is reward yourself. We have to stop waiting until we get to the finish line to say, I deserve an applause, or I deserve to celebrate, or I deserve to reward myself. You don't have to do some fancy trip to Paris to reward yourself. It can be small little steps along the way. So maybe you decide that if you hit a certain milestone, a money mark, then you'll celebrate with your family at a nice dinner. Maybe you decide that you're just gonna take an hour off and paint your own nails at home. Whatever it is, don't wait to reward yourself, because here's what I know. When you have those small little milestones, those little benchmarks, and you reward yourself accordingly, you increase your motivation, you improve the way in which you show up, and therefore it improves your results and your overall success. Research says that less than 8% of adults are actually successful as it relates to their goals. That's not because they don't want it, but it's because they're going about it all wrong. The good news is that now you have a simple strategy that you can begin to implement to make this your best year yet. So I challenge you to dive in, start taking action, set aside some time today to really dig in and lay out what this year is going to look like, how you want to feel, what words and phrases you're going to hold tight to that's going to keep that momentum and that motivation going so that you continue to show up and begin to take action today.